It was windy and fine day in that place with a lots of dancing white flowers in my sight. I was walking along in this wonderland with clueless and definitely dunno where I am going. Suddenly I asked myself, did I die? Then I hurriedly to run and looking around to search Al. I called his name in many times because I know he will respond to me immediately if he will heard my voice. But I can't find him anywhere, no matter how far I have ran or how loud my voice. It was still useless, until I bumped on someone's back. Ouch! Hey, watch it! A feminine voice was raised up to my ears, and then I apologized after I got up a bit. She was a woman. She smiled at me when she turned her gaze toward me. She seemed to utter something by her smile, and then I realized my limb in steel was holding her lap. I grinned and blushed in embarrassment as I rushed to stand up beside her. She stood up as well, and then she said, "Oh, I thought you are Hope Estine." She removed the dirt from her lap up to her knees, and then she turned around to face at me. I was kind of amazed from her. For the first time, I appreciated a beauty of a woman aside Mom, because she has a pink-orange pigtailed hair, a nature green eyes, and a fine white skin that lighten her image much. Plus she was as tall as usually I've seen from an adult woman, except Granny Pinocchio, of course. I don't know her exact age, but based on her posture she looked like a childish lady, wearing a weird outfit, making me thought she came from a tribe clan or somewhat. By the way, I'm Irabadia Vanille. Just call me Vanille. What's yours, little boy? She introduced herself with a smile as she gave a hand, waiting to be shake with mine. I have no idea who's that person she was talking about, and I felt kinda insulted by her when she called me little, but I am still glad to know her name though. Then I told her not to call me little, small, or something related with midgets. She threw several feared nods toward me after my sentence, and then I told her about my age. You are 15? But you're small! She surprised in a question, and then she moved down her hand after I ignored it. I absolutely lost my temper and made me to shout. Hey, I said don't call me small! But I immediately knocked it off to never mind as I sighed. Then I introduced myself in calm. I'm Edward Elric, the Full Metal Alchemist! I don't know what his voice is, I'm sorry people. I proudly grinned toward her with a pointing finger of me and a hand on my waist. Vanille smiled. She holding her hands together at her back. Nice to meet you, Edward, she greeted, but... what is a Full Metal Alchemist? I never heard about them. She asked innocently as she twisted her lip with rested fingers over her chin and wondering about my one and only title. What was up with this lady? Doesn't she aware about my popularity as the youngest genius in the East? She was definitely come from somewhere I don't know. I was upset that much when she was too ignorant about me, so I tried to prove my words by showing up my auto-mail with her first. Then I performed the alchemy in front of her, to make her convince and impress as well. That's empress as in like, female emperor. But the alchemy was not work! I wonder why it doesn't affect in this place? I tried to do it again, but it was still no difference. Hey, what's going on with my alchemy? Her reaction was just the same as Rose's when she saw unexpectedly my artificial limb. But it was not enough to make her believe I am an alchemist because of my failed show that brought me into a humiliation. I doesn't notice Vanille was already knelt down in front of me. She holds my replaced arm, covered with my red long sleeve coat, and then she stared at it sadly. What happened to your arm? She asked with a pity look towards me after her short pause. I can't answer her simple question nor to take a peek upon her eyes. I was just bowing in silence in front of her. It was not likely because I confused to answer it. I just don't want to talk about my nightmare past. The sinful thing I had done to myself and to my little brother who much more been suffered by my mistake. She was moving closer to me, and I leaning backward as she following my eyes with hers. I felt nervous, and my cheeks were glowing into red because of her odd stare. She was curiously looking at me, in concern to know about what might be I answer, and that was really bothering me though. But she asked weirdly instead. Edward Elric, as a concern, if you don't mind, can I do this? I wondered why she needed to ask it indirectly that I knew already what does she meant, and she suddenly embraced me. Just as I thought, the same thing usually Uncle Armstrong used to do if he pitied me. Although I don't need it, she made me feel comfy, at least with the flashback memories of Mom, even though her scent was too different and the smoothness of her skin and warmness of her body as well. The affection as we utter from each other was just nothing, actually. But wait a minute, I suddenly thought if I should trust her as I suspicious her about something who will make me trapped into this place forever. I started to get tense against her, but I can't move myself because of her hold tight on me, to make sure that I couldn't escape from her arms. Damn it! She was stronger too, as Uncle does! She muttered some unfamiliar words beside my ear, and I don't understand. What was it all about, making me more frightened against her? It was a foreign language that I couldn't understand without translating it. Hey, get off me! Stop acting like my mother! Sorry, Edward, but I couldn't help it. She apologized in giggle, and then she brushed her head up against mine. You're so cute, she whined as she hugging me tighter and still the same stuff. All my doubts against her was entirely broken and sudden and turned into a temper outburst after she spoke in those silly words and very irritating in my ears. I said, get off me, you pervert! Hee, you know, Ed-chan, when I hugged you, I remembered my teddy bear in my room. What? Hey, I'm not a toy and don't call me Ed-chan. Stop playing with me. Oh, you don't want my teddy? Fine, what about Panda? Idiot. Do I look like a fat with two black eyes for you? Nope, but a cat perhaps, she damn answered. Because of your golden eyes, she added in tease. Our nonsense argument wasn't long when I ignored her last reply, just to try to move at least a bit enough to make a quick attack mood. Forgive me, but I have to do this. I was trying to move out my hands, locked with her thighs, but a sudden kiss was hit through my forehead, made me stop with a flashed eyes and stunned upon her view. Then finally she got off from me and stood up in front of my sight with both hands behind her. I was shocked from that touch because I wasn't expected. She will do it with me, and my face heat up again from the moment of embarrassment has been dashed. That was Mom always using to do with me, if I cry or get mad at sometimes, when she was living before. After I awake from being froze, Vanille was staring down toward me. That meets mine, and then she drew a smile upon her face. Good to meet you, Edward, she said, and then she paused, and then again she spoke. By the way, please don't compare me with your mother, because I am only 17. That was a very surprising thing to know that made me gasp in disbelief and a gape. She was only 2 years older than me, but she much more looked 19 or 20 to me. She chuckled after she saw my silly reaction, until after a while the field was starting to turn into fog and wittish. Vanille was still laughing softly at me, but suddenly she began to become a transparent until she completely vanished before my eyes. I gasped and stood up hurriedly, calling her name Panicky, but I couldn't see her anywhere, meaning she was really disappeared. I smelt something bad on the air, and then... Nissan, your butt is burning! My armored head brother's voice was interrupting me in sudden. Al! I found out he was right. My ass really was burning. Crap! I forgot we are in the middle of a picnic with Harmony, and my idiot brother was making a barbecue fire behind me. Thank God I got relief from the fire when they after me with a water splash. Only my coat got burned, lucky not my jeans, and then the duo laughed out loud at me. Both feel the amusement while I felt suffered. Yeah, very funny, thanks to Al. Nissan, what's wrong with you? Are you alright? Yeah, Ed, just something bothering you? Because saw you wandering around with a deep thought a while ago, and even I calling you, you aren't responding to me. They both asked in wonder, but I ignored their questions and made my silence instead. Then I smirked until it turned into a grin. Let's see! It was a big mystery to me about everything that happened a while ago, although it was just a result of overthinking about Mom. The memories about her that's still living in my heart, and it couldn't be perished even though I had committed a sin for her. But if the woman named Erbadia Vanille does exist, I won't hope to meet her again, because she could probably be a big threat to me. Oh my goodness. So that was Ed Delusion by Yomi, U-O-M-I-E. I liked it.